Now, people keep asking me, why haven't the Prince and Princess of Wales announced their divorce or separation? One, it would end the monarchy, and two, they have a super injunction on the matter, the fact. William's got one on there. So what happens is when you've got a super injunction, if the press talk about it, they'll take them to court. And that's why they have one on there, because if you start discussing it when you're not supposed to, and that's why the press aren't allowed to talk about it. That's why they can only give out small hints, like really ditty hints. But if they start discussing it, then they'll be dragged through the courts. And he's really lucky, William, to have the money that we give him to pay for those super injunctions, because the stuff that would come out that the press could divulge to the British public, I mean, they would really change their opinion on the royal family and William and Kate if they knew the full story behind the scenes. And yeah, his injunctions stop all the gossip coming out, and it's really bad stuff. So Prince William, as we all know, is called the Prince of Pegging, and this is known, and just look it up and you'll know what I'm talking about, and I won't discuss on here. But yeah, he's the Prince of Pegging. And the next one was the separation. They all know about it. And the divorce announcement was supposed to come out in 2022, but the press, they stopped it, so the press couldn't make it come out. But obviously Forage Lodge is a settlement for Kate, a divorce settlement. And obviously he just can't stand to be around near the woman anymore. And the press, you can tell they're eager to talk about it, because you can see little hints sometimes of how the press are portraying them like, oh, it's Kate's house, not William's. William's got a terrible temper. What would happen if William was charged for a serious crime? So they know what happened when William hit Kate, but again, they can't just actually say it, but they can still give out little teasers to the public. And I just think it's sick that with those super injunctions, it just stops the truth from coming out. But someone said, I think we should be allowed to know the truth, because why should we pay for a prince that does obscene acts of sexual pleasure? And it's pretty disgusting what I've been told. I'm not going to put it on here, but just put in pegging and it comes up. Prince William is the Prince of Pegging. And even though he's got 3 children and his so-called wife, Kate, that's probably why she had a breakdown as well, which didn't help the situation. But if I knew that my husband was doing that, I wouldn't be too pleased about it. And people just look at William like, oh, you're so wonderful. But I'm like, you don't know the full story, because there's a super injunction out. If the press had the right and if they could discuss it, they would, but they can't. And it's that super injunction, and that's how they get around everything. And that just shows like William, oh yes, I've got so much power I can control the media and the press. They can't do anything because I'm in charge, hence the super injunction. But someone said, we're paying for that, and we're paying to stop the press talking about all the royal family's dirty secrets. And I just don't think it's acceptable. And everyone said, well, why haven't they mentioned the divorce? I said, because there's a super injunction on it. They can't talk about it because they've stopped it again. And someone said, well, why just come out and say that you are divorced? Because you're just playing a game in front of the British public. We know you don't like each other. You only act because it makes you look a happy couple when you're not. You hate each other. And I think all these super injunctions need to stop. There's hundreds of them. There's so many super injunctions about them. And because William's the heir and they all help him and support him, unlike Harry that didn't get any help and support from the palace, they're happy to protect William. Harry's done nothing like that. And yet they all praise William, yet you don't know the full story. But it's the super injunctions, and when you got one of those, you're never going to know the full story of what Prince William is really like. But I can tell you, it's disgusting what I've read. And I'm not going to repeat it on here because it will get taken down, this video. But the bloke is a, how should I put it, sexual deviant? Should we just put it like that? He's like another Mr. Grey. I wouldn't be surprised if he had like his own red room or something and he ties people up, because the stuff that's about William is disgraceful, actually. I mean, for him to even be classed and called king is an insult, actually. It's a joke, because he is not behaving like a king behind the scenes. Just because he goes out and waves and discusses things and does speeches doesn't mean he's a nice bloke. Doesn't mean he isn't a rebel behind the scenes. He's reckless behind the scenes towards women, men. We all know he's bisexual. But yeah, the palace won't talk about it because there's all these injunctions and we're paying for them. And if you want to keep paying for them, then go ahead. But you're all mugs at the end of the day, because you all think, yes, Prince William, he walks on water. He's bent and corrupt behind the scenes and you've all fallen for it.